And welcome to TADSummit Revisited. Here with us today is Moshe from Fone.Do, who will be providing a deeper Q&A on the presentation he gave back in November. So we're just going to get straight down to the questions. Okay, Moshe?
Okay.
So the first one is your focus North America at the moment? When do you plan to expand to Europe?
Okay, so, we get that question like almost every day. We'll get an email from somebody. How can I use your service? I'm in Sri Lanka, or maybe I'm in Germany, or all over the place. And it's basically a marketing question because there's two issues here. Number one, what's great about America is that you can, well, there's three things actually. First of all, calls are so cheap that it's very easy to sell an unlimited package, and that makes the whole sales process very simple. For $15 a month, you get unlimited calls for each user, and that's it. Whereas in Europe, it's getting more complicated. It's even getting more complicated because there's been changes lately in regulation. And another point is that it's in America also. It's very popular and common, this kind of unlimited package, whereas in Europe, not so yet. So we're a small company. We can only concentrate right now on one market, and in other businesses, we've been working in that market for years, so we're familiar, and that's what we're doing right now.
Gotcha. But
that being said, excuse me?
But there are plans to expand in the future?
Yeah, well, if somebody comes along, we're trying to do a lot of white labeling. So if somebody comes along and says, I'm in the UK or I'm in France, and I'm going to white label your product and take care of all the marketing and everything, then we're game for that.
Excellent. Well, we've got TAD London coming up, so maybe we can find some prospective partners for you there. Fingers crossed. So one of the things that is a sort of key technology in Fone.Do, of course, is WebRTC. So what are the challenges you face in using WebRTC, and how have you overcome them?
Well, one of the main challenges is that since we're working with small businesses, so small businesses are mobile, right? People work from home, work one day from one office on the road, and if you want to give a single experience across different devices, web, desk phone, and mobile, so you have to have mobile. And getting WebRTC working on mobile has been a challenge. It took us a while. We actually went through a few different processes where we thought we were done, and then we weren't. But now we have it working both on Android and on iOS.
Gotcha. Now, one of the issues with mobile has been power consumption of the battery with WebRTC. Have you got around some of those sort of power issues?
We did, and we're still working on that.
Oh, I understand. Yeah, so there's significant secrets to making it work, I guess, is part of it.
I think it's just tweaking, trial and error, and getting, seeing how to do it. I don't think there's any really secret method. It's just cleaning it out.
Understood, because we are still in early days, but that's a good point in terms of, especially for your target market, having the mobile experience as best as possible. Now, has the lack of IE Safari support been an issue? I mean, Facebook can tell its users to go use another browser, but as a small company, can you do the same?
It's very interesting. Not at all. I mean, maybe 1% or 2% of people would say, I'm using it, it doesn't work. So, what browser are you using? Oh, I'm using Internet Explorer. Oh, what's that? But people today, look, Chrome, even on Mac users who are used to using Safari, practically everybody also has Chrome already installed, and they use it. I mean, it's really not an issue. Contrary to somebody who wrote that, I won't mention his name, but one of the analysts wrote that WebRTC is a non-starter and is for losers because Microsoft and Apple aren't supporting it. So I haven't seen that problem.
That's good, and it reflects what I think many of us have in our, especially on our desktop, is we have multiple browsers open. So as a result, it doesn't work on one, or sometimes the experience, especially with Safari, can be like a little bit odd. So you move over to Chrome or to Firefox, and everything works hunky-dory. So I think it's one of those use cases where people already are using multiple browsers for a variety of reasons. And especially if you have like multiple logins for the same service, you use a different browser for each of the logins. So that's a good feedback to the market. So what are some of the common characteristics of your customers at the moment, Moshe?
Well, that's a good question. When you start something new, which I've done a few times, you get people from all across the board who think that it's appropriate for them. So there's the extremes. But I think the main one is really we're seeing a lot of startups, who don't really have time and money to put a big effort into setting up a whole big phone system, and different people who travel internationally. Also, a lot of that, because they can just take the mobile with them and go. Yeah.
No, that's good feedback in terms of where you're seeing sort of the most appropriate customers. So you have, from what I understand, a free service that then transitions to a paid service. So what's the sort of conversion rates you're seeing from the free to paid?
Okay, we're really still mostly on free, so it's hard to say because we haven't released yet using desk phones. We're working with Yearlink and Polycom. That should be in the next few weeks. And we feel that until we do that, we really can't charge for it because it's not like a full service. So we're going to have web, which already works. We have Android, which is in beta. iOS is in alpha. And soon we'll be offering desk phones. So then I think we can start charging for it.
Cool. No, that will be really exciting, especially because you've built up a sizable user base. To then, it's a nice, I guess, proof point when you're adding in the desk phone. As you say, it then makes it clearly a chargeable service from being yet another web-based free service. So I think that's a nice transition point to start moving to revenue. Now, one question we had, and this came from a couple of people. If a customer has an existing number or PBX, can they use your service in parallel to build up confidence before making the jump?
Okay, so the way it works with numbers is, we were set up to port numbers, but what people can do at first, we can give them a temporary number, gotcha, and they can point their old number to the new number. Even if when we go through the porting process, since it takes time, we still suggest people take a temporary number and then point your existing number until it ports.
Gotcha. Okay, that's nice because it enables people to build up some confidence.
One of the interesting things we're doing is that porting is a very painful process in the United States, at least. And there's a lot of manual work. And so we're setting up a system where a lot of it can be done automated. And not only that, you won't have today. Companies still request you to fax your oldest, your latest bill. So we're actually doing a certain method where you'll be able to type. You'll see a sample bill on the screen, and you'll be able to select what information you want without any faxing or scanning or whatever. Gotcha. And eventually, it will be all automated as much as possible.
Interesting. It's really helping the customer through that porting process to make it as painless as possible. So moving on, do you plan to offer APIs to your service to allow customers to build applications on top?
Definitely. The whole platform is built like a web service with APIs, and which we're using currently internally. Yeah. We intend to have. We're already actually working with a few companies who are going to white label our service, and they're using our API already. But in general, my vision is to have a marketplace for developers where developers then can use the API and develop a product for a specific niche.
Cool, cool. That's clear. Then from the feedback you've had so far, what do your customers like best about your service?
I think, first of all, it blows everybody away, customers or people in the industry, is that in 2 minutes you're set up and ready to go. Yeah. That's number one. And number two, it's just that WebRTC lets them use it anywhere. So like we have people, like say work from the office and then go make calls from home, and all they need is a browser. And it just works. It's not a complicated thing. So, I like to say people use Facebook and use Gmail, and nobody goes around training you to use Facebook or Gmail, right? So we're trying to do the same experience with your business phone system. You don't have to be trained. You just go in and use it.
Exactly. Exactly. So it's very much a sort of modern web service model. Make it so quick, so easy that people can just use it. So that's great. Now, how are you reaching your customers at the moment? Because, of course, for all startups, that's one of the biggest headaches.
Okay, so that's very interesting. At the beginning, when we started planning, we said, this is going to be a typical web service, and we'll advertise on Google and acquire customers. So it turns out no matter how great your product is, there's just so much out there, it's not easy. On the other hand, we got so much interest from people in the industry who want to resell and white label. So we're actually right now concentrating on the white label channel, where people will be, for instance, we have a SIP trunk provider who's launching with us next month, that's a perfect product for him because he has customers all the time asking for PBX. Yep. So for a while he was selling Asterisk, but that needs a lot of support and it's complicated. And when we came along, he said that's just like our product, because the SIP trunk is a very simple product, and this is a simple product, and we can do it together.
Perfect. That's very interesting. Yeah, and there's so many different SIP trunk providers out there targeting different vertical niches. I mean, like in the US, we have some SIP trunk providers that operate, for example, in Texas or in Utah that service like doctors and dentists and stuff like that and do good business. And they provide a wraparound of other services over time as well. So adding in this simple white label service is a great example of how you can sort of deliver through them. So that's great feedback. Then one question, has the online FAQ and email support been adequate? So are small, medium customers sort of ready for it? Do you think this perhaps limits your addressable market?
Well, it goes like this. Most people, yes. Then you have the people who we're using a service called Intercom, which integrates into your website, and so people sometimes will come on and say, "I have some questions. Give me a call." Okay. Just like that's just what they're used to.
Yeah.
But I can only remember really 1 or 2 cases where we really had to give them a call, because usually it's just like maybe they feel a little more comfortable talking on the phone. But if they see that you're answering the questions, right away and not putting them off, so it usually works out.
Cool, cool.
And again, if you lose somebody because he only wants to talk on the phone and you can't do it, so there's always going to be customers that you're going to lose.
Exactly. It's a self-selection, and again, you're reflecting the modern web-based service paradigm, where it's quick.
I mean,
easy.
How often does Google call you unless you're a big advertiser, right?
Exactly. There's our FAQ. Deal with it. So just to wrap up, because this has been really great, lots of useful information. What's been your most important learning to date from building Fone.Do?
Fone.Do.
Fone.Do, sorry.
The most important thing is that I would say the mobile experience has been a long learning curve. And another thing is that the market is still in earlier stages than we are involved are aware of. There's still a lot of education to be done.
Yeah, yeah, and that reflects actually another WebRTC company, Lewis from Days, and this was one of the key points he made in terms of it isn't competition, it's education is our biggest challenge at the moment.
I agree with
he was reflecting with his click-to-call service. Actually, it's really a web callback service today. Rather than it being a sort of a true click-to-call, simply because of all the challenges and education that we need to go through. But as you know, it's one of those that it's almost like a step function. There's a time when the market isn't educated, then the segment that you're building your business on all of a sudden gets it, click, and then all of a sudden, it's like, well, of course, this is how you do it. Where's the problem? It's both a technology and a human element. I think once those two come together, I think we'll definitely see this, go not necessarily mass market, but to a point whereby everybody that's in the early stages, like yourself, have more customers than you know what to do with.
Yeah, I hope so. Thank you very much.
No, this has been excellent, Moshe. Again, great advice, great experience from being, as always, at the bleeding edge of technology. Thanks you so much.
Thank you.